Hi, I'm Gary Engler, your Socialist Grandfather. In this episode of Economic Democracy or No Democracy, an anti oligarchy manifesto, I answer more questions. First up, the problem with you socialists is that you fail to understand most people are lazy and therefore a workers run economy would be inefficient and offer terrible service just like the old Soviet Union. Am I right or not? Human beings are not machines. We have feelings. We're not programmed to keep working no matter what. Everyone has lazy days when we just don't feel like working. Days like that are terrible because they seem to stretch on forever. The vast majority of people prefer days when we're really into our work and at the end of the day feel satisfied and proud of what we've accomplished. Truth is, few people are lazy, but many are alienated, which causes them to work the minimum possible without getting fired. That was especially true in the Soviet Union, where it was difficult to be fired, but workers had little say in their workplaces. One of the important goals of economic democracy is to reduce and eventually get rid of workplace alienation. Only in a sick society designed by a tiny minority of wealthy and powerful people to keep themselves in power is work a burden that we must endure. Work should give meaning to our lives. Work should bring out the creativity in all of us. Truth is, we live in a world where millions work too much given our productive capacity, and much of what we do is socially and environmentally destructive. At the same time, we millions can't find jobs. They say the capitalist market rationally allocates resources, but rational for whom? Not Mother Nature, not the planet, not most human beings. What's the point of creating a system that pretends we're all equal when we're obviously not? If your point is that because we have unequal abilities, we will inevitably have unequal economic outcomes, then you're probably right. Of course, people's capabilities vary, making some better at certain things than others. But I'd say that's an argument for economic democracy, not against it. If some people have special gifts, allowing them to do better at certain areas, they will benefit naturally. They will succeed at school and at whatever work they choose to do. Coworkers will recognize their special gifts and vote for them as managers if they choose to put themselves forward. Those people don't need a system that magnifies their natural advantages by giving them incomes 5, 10, 100 times more than average, like neoliberal capitalism does. There's no moral or economic justification for that sort of inequality. Seems to me an economic democracy is just a clever way of repackaging Marxism. Implicit in this statement is an assumption that Marxism is something bad that needs to be hidden. That's just plain wrong. Karl Marx was an important thinker who wrote insightful and useful things about the early days of capitalism. Any decently educated student or anyone interested in the history of the left and the union movement must read him. Is there a connection between Marx and economic democracy? Of course. There's a connection between the left everywhere and the writer of the Communist Manifesto. Economic democracy is the logical conclusion of that part of the democratic left that traces itself back to Marx and before.